What's up everybody, Zach here, and this video I'm going to show the assembly of the Jessem router table. I got everything from Jessem. I was thinking about going to Infinity Tools, but the top and the stand are theirs. I got this for, it's like $805 to me from CT Tools on Amazon. That was the best deal. It has the Mast-R-2 fence, Jessem's metal stand, the Phenloic top, and the Rout-R-Lift 2. So I'll have complete Jessem products. I'm anal sometimes. I like to keep everything together. And I also bought the clear stock guides and a start pin. That stuff's not here yet, and they wouldn't deliver the Rout-R-2 lift without a signature, so I'm going to have to wait till Monday to get that. But I'm going to start putting this together, put the frame together, mount the top on the frame, and then the fence, and then when the router lift comes, I'll mount a brand new Dewalt router to that. So these are the three boxes. That box and that box came together. That was separate, and the third box is the router lift, which isn't here yet. So I'm going to get these unboxed and start putting them together and take you guys on the way. Alright, so I got the base unboxed. It's all, looks like black powder coat. It's all metal. Got 4 legs and then the miscellaneous cross braces and all the hardware. So I'm going to get plastic off and start assembling that, and I'll track my process as I go. I'm not going to video the whole thing because I'm sure you've seen 100 bases put together. Alright, I think I'm at step 3 now. So I have all 4 legs, have the front piece has the front brace attached, the rear piece has the back brace attached, and they each have a cross brace attached. So next I'm going to flip one of them over and then attach them together, and then there's 2 more upper braces and I believe 2 more lower braces that I have to install, and then the top is done. It's a pretty decent construction, typical tubular steel. The paint seems okay. It goes together easy. The bolts and the threads all go together easy. I didn't really have any problems, and I'm leaving them all loose because the direction says to leave it loose until you're done. Alright, so got 2 more braces in, and it's starting to come together. I know it's all off because it's, like I said, the hardware is loose. That's what they say to do in the instructions, so I'm not tightening it up. I have 1 more piece up top and 1 more piece on the lower side, and then the base will be done. Right, here's the stand all put together and tightened up, except for the upper ones. I didn't go too tight because I still have to mount the top. And one of the cool things about having Jessem top and a Jessem stand and the fence is that everything is pre-drilled. So it should be fairly easy to mount these. So there's holes, if you can see along the edge there, that will correspond to the track for the fence, and the router lift will fit in there. I'll have to cut it out. Saves a lot of time, so like I said, that's one of the reasons why I bought everything together. Next I'm going to unbox the fence, get that ready, mount that onto the top, and then mount the top on the table. So I'm attaching the top before the fence. I think I said that in reverse earlier. So I'm using the hardware provided with the top, and Jessem gives you a Torx head driver so you can put it together with their tool, which was nice. Everything did line up almost perfect. There was a little finagling with one of the screws, but there's 4 of those on each rail, cross brace. So a total of actually 4 on the long side and 3 on the short side. So I have them all in there. I'm going to tighten those down, and then I'm going to put the fence together in the fence rails. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to do that with it upside down or right side up. We'll see how that goes. Alright, what you see here is the contents minus my knife of the box for the Mast-R-2 fence from Jessem. So the fence is pretty much put together. I believe there might be on the back side of this, two things I need to take off before I put it on. We got two brackets there, two more tracks or brackets there. These, I believe, are the adjustment knobs, some hardware, and then the safety guard that goes over where the where the router bit is. It says to install it with the table upside down, which I'm going to do since I have a Jessem table. It should bolt right up. So I'm going to get that set right now, and then once I have that on there, I'll show you how it fits. Alright, one thing that I learned from listening to other people is that these brackets here and here are what actually go on the side of the table. They come pre-installed on the fence. So you need a 10mm bolt or 10mm socket to loosen up the bolt that's here. And then these will go on each side of the table. And I have to take these off to get to this one. They weren't in there very tight. There we go. Slide that off. And slide that off. Alright. So I'm going to go set those up on the table, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I got the brackets mounted. The screws, holes lined up perfect. They went in easy, as did the rest of the screws for this. And I used the machine screw that came with the top, the Jessem top, because if you're using what comes with the Mast-R-2 fence is wood screws. And you don't want to use wood screws in this because it's already pre-tapped. The wood screws are for if you're putting it into something other than a Jessem tabletop or one you built yourself. And there's also this warning that tells you not to use the screws that came with the fence if you happen to forget. So far, it goes together really well. The only downside, I think the instructions could use a revamp. If I wouldn't have done my research and watched how other people took some of this stuff apart, it would have taken me a while to realize you got to take the brackets off of the fence that the fence slides on that are pre-attached. It would have taken me a while to figure that out. The instructions aren't that clear on the two different styles of fences that you can get, so I think that would be my recommendation, is they can improve their instructions so far. So I'm going to flip this upright and then install those two brackets. These bolts slide in a track on the ones that I just put on. I'm going to get that done now. Alright, so I have all the brackets and everything on here nice and loose. They slide in the track. So next it says to lay the fence across the top, and then we'll bring these up to the bottom of that fence and tighten them down so that the brackets are level with the bottom or the top of the top. Alright, so I snugged up the bolts, 4 bolts on each side to get the bracket here, and on the other side level with the front. I used a woodpecker square to check the front of the fence, which is good, or the bracket with the table, and the back with the fence. It's all good. I'm going to snug that down and then go down to the next step. This is what it looks like so far. You know, router tables are pretty simple. Fence table, Rout-R-Lift, which isn't here yet, but we're getting there. Alright, now it's time to mount the fence to the bracket. So you can slide the nut slide the nut in here, I believe, like that, and align the fence just generally over it. Start getting some more light so you guys can see this a little bit better. There we go. Alright, so roughly line it up. There we go. Pretty straightforward. Same thing over here. Sliding that in. There we go, sorry. Filming and working isn't the easiest. Slide that in. Alright, and I believe we're good to go with that. There, the fence is on there. And see what the next step is. Alright, I just put on this little bolt with nylon bushing. It's supposed to keep the fence centered on the table, and I believe I gotta slide it up and slide it into here. And that'll keep the fence from not being centered, I think. I'm not 100% sure about this part of the direction, so I'm going to try that and see if I got it right. Alright, so I think I got it. So that fits right up in here into the T-slot, and what it tells you to do, I guess, is to just snug it a little bit, not 100% tight, and then you slide the fence back and you center it with the bit, and then once you do that, it tells you to bring it all the way back out, just so it's out, and then it tells you to tighten it, and that's going to keep your fence centered. So once I install the router plate and have a bit in there, I'll do that. They said it's supposed to be a little loose, until you tighten it up, which is how I have it set up. Alright, so let's slide this back. It's back, and then the last thing we need to do is put on the safety cover, which I believe is those two knobs, and it gives you this hex key for when you're sliding the face of the fence in and out. These bolts I didn't use, and it says for use with the 06001 might or slide only, which I don't think I have, so these will just go into my spare bolts pile. So I'm going to throw this on real quick. Alright, there you have the cover, or safety cover installed, and this is the key that they gave you for adjusting the fence. That's about where I'm going to stop right now until the router lift comes either today or tomorrow. I measured it, it's about 35¼ inches from the floor to the top of the top. Now there are adjustment legs, so I'm sure there's a decent amount of adjustment there. I'm 6'1", and for me, like, this is a little low. Like, I like to have stuff up higher, so I think what I'm going to do, I didn't buy the wheels for it, so I think I have a bunch of extra wheels. I'm just going to build a rolling dolly to put it on, and then I can, if I want to put it up a couple inches, I can. And then if it's size too high, I can just take it off. Pretty straightforward installation, except for I think the instructions could be improved on. And when the router lift gets here, I'll get that, install the Dewalt router on it, and then we'll have a complete video. Alright, so I'm back a couple days later. I had to wait for the router lift to come in, which it did, as you can see right here. Sorry, messed around with it a little bit, went over the instructions, and let me pull it out and show it to you. Alright, so there it is. There's the working end. The setup that I bought originally was supposed to come with the Jessem Router Lift II, which is about $189 lift. Good lift, but it's more affordable. What they sent me, I don't know by accident or what, is this one, which is the Mast-R-Lift II, which is about $200 more. A little bit better construction, etc. Which I'm happy about because I didn't pay extra for it. And I also bought a new router for it, which I got right here. It is the Dewalt DWP618PK. I think it's 2¼ horsepower, it has the plunge base to go with it, so that's what I'm going to keep in this all the time. And I got the kit with the plunge because I have a Wen router that I got to review for free. It's okay, but I wanted something that was over 2 horsepower for the table, and also if I want a good plunge router, because the Wen isn't that great, I had the kit. But majority of the time it's going to be in here. So I'm going to take the base off and mount it into the table. It's fairly straightforward. One thing you do have to do is these teeth, or jaws, whatever you want to call them, are what holds the actual motor into the lift. And this is another part where the instructions to me were a little confusing. I'll show you. I don't know how well this will zoom in, but there's letters, and the letters correspond, well, letters and numbers correspond to a code here based on your router, and then whatever code you have is the way you mount the jaws on the lift itself. I understood these holes, but these the letters, I didn't know what they were. Well, I watched the video and saw that when you take these off, underneath is where the letters are. So I now understand it, but if I wouldn't have watched the video, I probably would still be scratching my head. Now that's just me. Somebody else may look at it and understand what it is right away. Not me. All right, so let's get this set up here. So I have the Dewalt 618, so F4 is how I need to set mine up. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, one thing I also did, the directions tell you to bring the carriage all the way down so that rests on the O-rings, which are right down here. So basically, you're bringing it all the way, this would be all the way in the up position. So I'm going to loosen these up. And the Allen key does come with the lift itself. But thanks to YouTube, where I learned pretty much everything I know about woodworking. I didn't know anything before that. Help me out. Alright, so if you can see, all these holes are different configurations for different routers. So these holes correspond with the letters, and the holes on the jaws correspond with the number. So like I said, mine is with F4. So we will put this back in under the F, which is going to be, actually I'm going to turn this, A, B, C, D, E, F. So the middle one closest to the lift is going to be F, and 4 is going to be, the middle hole right here. So F4. Yep, there we go, F4. There's really not much required. There's also an adjustment here that I guess separates the clamp a little bit for when you put the motor in. I think that's the only other thing I need to adjust in order to get this set up for the Dewalt. Last one done here. Feels like everything is aluminum. It's light. And F4. Cleaned up and adjusted. And with the crank handle telling me I need to go in from the side, there's a adjustment right here which the handle fits right into. Yep. And what does it say? The crank handle loosen the tensioning cap screw sufficiently to force the carriage to spread. So I'm just taking the base off of the router. what I'm going to do to make this easier, move this out of the way. Put the lift in here, upside down. You can hit the switch for now. So that's good. That's in there. This wrench is for the inserts. All right, so spread it. Got the router motor into so the top of the motor housing just makes contact with the inside surface of the center hole in the top plate, which it did. Rotate the router so the installation so the controls are where I want it to be. Correct. Now with the crank handle, retighten the part that I loosened to fit it in there. Hope I'm not blocking your view too much. I'm just tightening that adjustment that we loosened a little bit earlier to allow the router to fit in. So now tightening this is pulling basically looks like a C, and it's pulling it together. Back it off about a 16th. Obviously isn't that much. In there. Make sure it's all still lined up where I want it. All the way down. Get some weight on there. So I backed it off. Hopefully 16th, I just eyeballed it. I think they just don't want it contacting it, the bottoming out, so to speak. All right. That's tight in there, let's see. Flip this upside down. All right. So I said earlier in the video, I purchased everything from Jessem, so everything fits, like a glove, pretty much. And you can control everything. One thing this lift has, which I don't know if a lot of other ones do, because I only really looked at the Jessem in depth. You have your height adjustment, but you also have over here, it's a spindle lock. So this is all loose, and then to lock it, it's kind of you force it and then it clicks in, so that your height adjustment doesn't change while you're using it. Thought that was pretty cool. I haven't tried this with the router in it, but it seems pretty smooth. And you're also supposed to lower the router when you put in the insert plate, or whatever one you're using. I'll just throw one in now, just to try. Let's see. All right. So pull that out. It's in there. Pretty cool. Figured I'd put it in there just to try it. Let's make sure that in the bag and with the lift there is a bunch of hardware. So there's a couple Allens, 2 different sizes. Oh, now I bought a start pin, but this one actually came with one. So let's see if I want to else or I'll lose it. So I guess I got a couple. It comes with 4 flathead machine screws, which you'll use to do the final securing of the router lift, which has this nice plate attached to it into the actual table itself. But before we do that, it comes with, I think it's 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 little inserts. So it has 2 on the left and right side and 3 on the back, and that is what you use to bring it up to the level of the table. So right now the back is kind of close. It's low there, and low there. So we're gonna have to bring it up a little bit. Alright, I took another 10 minutes to get this level and make sure everything's good. So it's there's a little, I think there might be a little tiny hair of a dip when you go onto the plate, but I'd rather have it a smidge low than have it high, so when I'm feeding stuff it'll go right over. So feels pretty good. Router's in there. Yep. Really smooth. I'm happy with it. Here's a close-up of the lift. There's the underneath shot. My next project will be enclosing this cabinet. Keep all my other router stuff in here, which will free up some of my other drawers down there. Table as high as possible. As you can see, I extended the feet probably almost 2 inches. It's right about, it's below my waist. I think it's a decent height. I may change it. I may put it on wheels. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, back to the router. So there is the base that I took off, and it has a plate in there if you want to put a bushing in there, which I haven't used yet, but I do have the bushing that the Dewalt came in. Oh, we'll need that. We'll need that. And wrench. This is the plunge base that it comes with. I'm not going to mess around with it now, but just so you can see it, there's the depth adjustment on there, and the collet is right here. Gonna put that in still. It looks like it comes with a base, a more open base, and I don't know if that's dust collection thing or not. So we'll leave this over here, and this. I'm pretty happy with it. Probably won't get a chance to use it today, maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna make some molding for a shadow box that I'm gonna build, and give you a look at how I have the dust collection. Right now it's just going on the fence. I'll probably buy one of the fittings from Rock or Woodcraft where you can collect from underneath and the back. If I need it, we'll see. We'll see how much chips drop down. Overall, happy with the table. Still gotta get it into position and put the collet in, plug it in, and test it out. But all in all, I think it's a good table. It's sturdy, went together nice. The tolerances were really good. All the hardware was good. Like I've said a couple times, the only things I didn't like are 2 sections of the directions, and that's like really nitpicking. And it could just be me trying to speed through it, not reading into it how I should. I do recommend it as it sits there. It's $800 plus. I think the router was around just under $200, so it's like $1,000 setup. But hopefully I won't have to buy another one. You know, this one I'll have for years. When I buy tools, I try and buy stuff that's going to last, so I don't have to buy it once. And you know, obviously when you do that, sometimes you got to spend some money. I hope you liked the video. I'm going to go edit it up and put it on, and I'll see you guys later.